that make any sense? Grace, it's time for Grace's News.
Hey, Howie, you're the guy from that outfit over there that I think is a great one, and I thank you for having me on your program.
That's right. Where is that outfit? It's in Langley, Virginia, right? Do you think Joe Biden could get that? Would you like Joe Biden on your team if you were on Jeopardy?
Well, every time now that I see a cut from Joe Biden, I just think of people saying, "It's so nice to have an adult back in the room." And I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy, he's something. But Howie, in other news, I want to read you this headline that I didn't get to today. And it's one of your favorite words is in this. It's from the Washington Post. It's an opinion piece. Comedians are struggling to parody Joe Biden. Let's hope this doesn't last. Do you care that the comedians are struggling, sir?
I do not care if the comedians are struggling. All they have to do is play the tape. There's no need. How can you beat the tape?
I mean, it is kind of amazing, though, the lack of any.
What is a maternity
sort of
flight
criticism.
suit, Grace? I'm not familiar with women's fashions very much. What is a maternity flight suit that Joe Biden was referring to yesterday?
I don't know if we need more context, but was he talking about women who jump out of the planes, like women in the military who fly?
Or was he talking about astronauts? I don't know.
Female fighter jet pilots.
Do they have pregnant astronauts?
I don't think it's recommended to go over Mach 1 when you're pregnant.
I wouldn't think so. These are all really important questions.
And why do you need to have something with the hairstyling if you're in combat?
Yeah, I didn't get that part of it either.
Is that really important?
Can we play just for my sake? Can we play the outfit cut though? Because Howie, I have to say, and you've heard me talk about my Nana a lot. She was a South Boston woman, and she was so funny. And when my mom heard that cut last night, she goes, "That sounds like something Nana would have said." The guy from that outfit, you know him. It was like so old school, and I mean, the Secretary of Defense is the guy from that outfit. He might as well said that fella from you know where. It was.
Speaking of outfits, maternity flight suits.
All right, so let's play this cut. This is, I don't know which one.
Some of it's relatively straightforward work, where we're making good progress designing body armor that fits women properly, tailoring combat uniforms for women, creating maternity flight suits, updating requirements for their hairstyles.
Requirements for their hairstyles.
What's that all about?
What is that all about, Howie? I have no idea. Hey, Howie, since I'm here, I thought maybe we could go through some of this Psaki sound.
Psaki sound.
Psaki sound. Because I do find it interesting that the situation, that's what they're calling it, the challenge on the border is really becoming more challenging. Who would have thought? You open the borders, you let everybody in, and then all of a sudden now they're very surprised that their messaging is off. And I want to go through some of this, Howie, and get your take. Let's start. This is the White House Press Secretary, Jen Psaki, and this is cut. Let's start with cut 3.
Is there a need for more capacity?
Well, we know just purely by the numbers, Steve, that there is going to be a need, right? Because we have a large number of kids, unaccompanied children who are coming across the border.
Stop it right there, Taylor. Remember when she says kids or children, the average age is 17. Okay? 17.
Howie, I believe she's talking about the babies being ripped from the mama's arms. So I would appreciate it if you would stop with the fake news.
Again, 17, like the magazine that used to exist for young girls. 17. Go ahead.
It's unaccompanied children who are coming across the border.
Unaccompanied children. They're sent by their loving parents.
Let's also play cut 5.
At this point, is this a crisis at the border?
Look, I don't think we need to sit here and put new labels on what we have already conveyed is challenging. What we have conveyed is a top priority for the president.
No
there's an
labels,
old
Howie.
saying, Grace, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The border was not broke 7 weeks ago. The border was fixed, and they broke it. They broke it.
Yeah, and it's all in the name of unity and restoring
And diversity. And all these people that are coming across the border, they're going to live in the same neighborhoods with the people the Democrats claim to love and cherish so much. They're going to compete for jobs if they decide to work. That's that's a possibility. Some of them will decide to try to get a job. They're going to compete against blacks and Hispanics who, under Trump, enjoyed the lowest unemployment rate since they started keeping unemployment rates by race and ethnic group. Who are they helping here?
No, I completely agree. And I always say this, but it's unfortunate that people can't see the long game in this and how it could start to affect everybody and not just people who live in Texas. But that's the state right now that we're in 2021. And Howie, before I get to my next story, which I did talk about today, but I think this is a story worth repeating in your show in case you don't have time to get to it, because I know you have so much news. Before I get to that, Grace's news is brought to you by Toyota of Portsmouth, the house of value. I love my new RAV4 XLE. And what I loved even more was the process of getting it. Their sales consultants will help you get a Toyota truck or SUV, whatever you want on your terms, whatever works for you. There's no pressure. And their showrooms are inside, which is great right now because it's still chilly here in New England. They have a huge, sparkling clean showroom and an incredible staff. They're located just south of the Portsmouth traffic circle off 95. Go to toyotaofportsmouth.com or visit them at the showroom and tell them Grace sent you. So Howie, today I was thinking about all of these situations with teachers, unions, and how many times they've shown us the level of hypocrites that they are. They're how much of phonies and frauds they are. And there was a couple of situations that came right to my mind. One was a Leicester teacher who was drinking her wine and smoking her cigarettes on the Zoom
and blowing smoke rings.
Yes.
That was my favorite part of that one. She was blowing smoke rings while she's on a Zoom call.
talking
She blew
about
smoke rings pretty good too. That was something, Harry High School people like me, that's the first thing we learned once we learned to, suck it in and how to blow it out.
She was like the Cheshire cat in Alice in Wonderland.
That's the second thing you learn is to blow smoke rings. And then the third thing you learn is to flick the butt. Halfway across the room.
Well, she would be at the cool kids table with you, Howie.
Right,
so that's
she
good
would.
to know. But there was that situation. I was actually going to ask you, Howie. I was going to say I'm going to name a couple situations, okay? So try to keep track of these, and then at the end, you can tell me which one you think is the worst. The Leicester teacher with the wine and the smoke rings. The teacher who called sending kids back to school slavery. We also had the teachers on the Zoom call who said they just want their babysitters back,
right, and
kind of insinuated that the reason that the parents want their kids in school is so they can smoke weed.
That was a school board, though, wasn't it? Those weren't exactly teachers. I mean, they had teacher attitudes, but they weren't teachers. I don't think.
All right, we'll take that one out of the running. Then there was the Berkeley teacher who dropped his child off at in-person daycare.
Oh, he was the head of the union.
Yeah,
he's at a different level of hypocrisy. Yes.
But Howie, and now this is my newest example. Okay, so I want you to add this in. LA teachers advised not to post spring break pics on social media as union advocates to keep schools closed. So someone came on the Facebook group and said, and I'm going to read you the exact message. If you are planning any trips for spring break, please keep that off of social media. It is hard to argue that it is unsafe for in-person instruction if parents and the public see vacation photos and international travel.
Turtle Boy Sports is the guy who came up with the picture of the Leicester teacher with her wine glass and, slurring words and forgetting people's name like she's Joe Biden and blowing the smoke rings. But how many teachers has he busted over the last 3 or 4 months, Grace?
I know.
First he prints their social media say, we can't go back because we'll die and the kids will die and the kids will kill their grandparents when they go home. And then the next picture on the social media is them on the beach in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Or Puerto Rico. But Howie, and I read a piece a couple weeks ago, and somebody said, the way these teachers are talking in the teachers unions, you'd think we were asking them to drink the blood of an infected bat. And remember the other story that Turtle Boy got, Howie, was that head of the teachers union here who was caught at Gillette getting her vaccine. And then she said, oh, no, that picture is Photoshopped. And then she later deleted the Photoshop comment.
Right.
So there's been a couple.
Yeah, no, there's been a bunch of them. By the way, 781 says, did the teacher drinking on the Zoom call, which I assume was work, get terminated? No, see, it wasn't work though. It was some kind of meeting, and she was just speaking as a teacher. And she said, I mean, thank you, Han, for letting me speak. The superintendent, she couldn't remember the superintendent's name. And then she said, we could just make up the days in the summer. We'll just regrain all the days we missed. Regrain.
It really was an amazing cut, Howie. And we're going to play it right now in case anyone missed that, because this is something we should probably play once a week.
Thank you, Han. This is at a meeting. She's a school teacher. She's some kind of high school teacher at Leicester High out in Worcester County.
And needless to say, she wins the competition. That we were saying all the examples, but this lady takes the cake.
This choice, do you want to go now or do you want to go last?
I'll go now, hon.
Okay, go ahead.
So thinking about, going forward and what kids have lost, and Mr. Lauder will be here with me, and so on, Superintendent. We have a program, summer school. Kids failed, they come to summer school, they try to regain credits, et cetera. I'm thinking that we could expand that program this year to, not only did I fail, but maybe I didn't get quite as much as I wanted to. But I'm just looking forward to trying to get kids back to where they need to be. And so that's what I wanted to say.
Great. Thank you, Miss Southwick.
Thank you. It's always good to hear from the Total Wine parking lot.
Howie, speaking of struggling, it sounds like it's going to come out next. Can I kiss you? By the way, for anyone who's hearing that cut, if you go watch the video, I think the real cherry on top is that the wine glass that she's sipping out of still has the price tag at the bottom of the glass. It's really just, you couldn't ask for it.
And you also have to see the people, because they have the screen is set up where there's 6 little boxes. It's like Hollywood Squares, right? It's like one of these traditional Zoom meetings, and the women especially are just appalled as she's going on.
What do you think's worth, Howie, the wine or the cigarettes? I'm going to say the wine.
I just found the cigarettes amusing because she wraps it up and then she has like a long cigarette too. It's
drink, put it in a mug or something. Pretend you're drinking coffee. Blow on it.
Right.
Put a little theater into it.
Right. Isn't that what a red solo? No. Isn't that what a red solo cup is for? So that that's
see? That's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, that's a dead giveaway. You need to put it in like Taylor said, like a coffee
mug.
Speaking of that, Taylor, you have coffee mugs all the time lately around the office.
Do I? Is that a problem? I'm leaving stuff around.
Just kidding. All right, guys, that is it for me. I will be back tomorrow.
Thank you, Han. And give my best to Superintendent.
Thanks, Han.
The guy at the outfit.
Yeah, I was going to say, the guy at the outfit. He's a great guy. I really like him a lot.
Senator Austin. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm always looking at a screen now more than ever, even if it's just the Leicester School Committee meeting. And whether you're an avid news watcher or in serious need of a distraction, unplugging yourself is easier said than done. One of my favorite ways to rest my eyes and still get the content I'm itching for by putting in my Raycon wireless earbuds while listening to something great. I like to go home at night now and just read, and I put in the Raycon wireless earbuds and listen to some kind of music, any kind, whether it's traditional jazz, classical music, classic rock, in anything. I'm not watching.
So I guess it was windy in the Boston area while I was away on vacation. I came back and my yard was just full of sticks and twigs, so I had a lot of yard work to do, a lot of burning in the backyard. I just put in my Raycons. It made the work very merry. It just went by like that. It was such a quality listen.
Good music. You've always known good music makes the time go faster when you've got a chore to perform, and you don't want to bother anybody else when you're in close contact with them more so than normal. And so this is where Raycon wireless earbuds come in so handy nowadays. Raycons are built to perform anywhere and anytime with water and sweat-resistant construction and Bluetooth that pairs quickly and seamlessly. And with enough battery life for 6 hours of playtime, you can unplug for a good long while. Raycons come in a range of stylish colorways with a comfortable in-ear fit for a more discreet look. The best part, Raycon makes great sound accessible to everyone with wireless earbuds starting at half the price of other premium audio brands. And if you missed part of this show, you can always listen to the podcast on your Raycons. It's good for any kind of listening pleasure that you wish to enjoy. Raycon's offering 15% off all their products for my listeners, and here's all you've got to do to get it. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/.